do know. Just after 3 p.m., our officers were sent to a house on the 700 block of Jessie Street to assist St. Paul Fire paramedics on an unknown medical situation. Our officers arrived first and were met by the 911 callers who were frantically telling them that people were injured inside the home. Our officers went inside to find a shocking scene. 3 people had been shot. They called for St. Paul Fire paramedics to immediately come into the home, and paramedics pronounced 2 of the 3 victims dead on scene. The 3rd victim, an 8 to 12-year-old boy, was transported to Regions Hospital, where he unfortunately died from his injuries a few hours after arriving. Our officers secured the scene, began to look for evidence. Our homicide unit was notified. They also responded, and they'll be looking for anything that would tell them who is responsible for this crime. Our forensic services unit, as you can see behind me, is also here, looking for any physical evidence that will tell them the story of who is responsible for these deaths. We'll be working with the Ramsey County Medical Examiner to positively identify our victims and determine their exact cause of death. Unfortunately, these types of calls are hard. This one in particular is hard for a couple reasons. It's hard because children died. It's also hard because one of our officers was here an hour before this call. He was called here by a concerned family member from out of state who wanted us to check on the welfare of the supposed victim in this home. Our officer did come here. He did speak with her at the door and explained why he was there. And she looked at him and said, "I'm okay. Tell them I'm okay." The officer asked if she wanted to call the family in Tennessee with his phone. She declined, and that was the end of the interaction between the two. Hopefully our investigation will answer some of the questions we have about this call and what occurred here today. Keeping in mind that we're still early on this investigation, I'll take some questions. I'll try to answer them the best as I can.
A man and a woman and a child, is that what it is like?
So we have I'll go through the victims for you. The adult female is in her 30s. The second victim is a female in her early teens. And the third is the young boy, 8 to 12 years old. We'll be working with the Ramsey County Medical Examiner to positively identify them and most likely release their names in the next couple days.
Are they all related?
We'll be working through that to determine what their relationship is.
The she that you referenced that your officer spoke with earlier in the day, is she one of the ones who passed away?
We believe so. Yes, we believe that our officer spoke to the woman in her 30s.
How many people were inside when this took place?
Our officers found 3 victims in there. I do not know if anybody else was present at the time. We are interviewing people. I just don't know where they were at the time of the incident.
Was there a gun found on scene?
Unknown. They're still searching the address for evidence. They go through a protocol of search warrant, and it does take some time, so those answers will come later.
Have you all been to this house before today?
We have been here once before on a similar call, a welfare check.
Like a domestic welfare check, or are you able to say any more details?
No, they were just concerned about her welfare, that she could be in danger. That type of call. It possibly involved a domestic type situation. I just don't have all the facts to confirm it exactly.
Can you say if the person who fired these shots is one of the 2 adults found inside the house?
Unknown. I don't have that type of information at this point.
You can't rule out that it's somebody who came to the house?
Yeah,
somebody else?
Correct. Right now we're entertaining all possibilities, whether and those include domestic versus stranger versus anything. But right now it could possibly be a more domestic related.
You officer, my camera here catch I'm not sure the victim or the suspect, that people go in there to the house, things come out from the house in maybe about 30 minutes. One run out really fast, get into the car and drive off.
Okay. I'll have the investigators come speak with you, okay? Or you can talk to my partner here.
And I think one of the guy already come in, go with the police, come and get my video already.
Okay,
everything.
thank you.
So
Thank
there
you.
might be
I didn't know
something
that. Thank you.
Look for that.
And you said the second woman was a teenager, though?
Early teens. So
Really two
she
young people and an adult.
yes, like I said, these are horrific calls for officers to respond to. Obviously, the families are in a lot of pain, and the officers are human too. When they respond and see this kind of tragedy, it affects them also.